Hi, my name is Heather Nygaard, and I decided to do a career profile for a licensed professional counselor in the private practice. The person I interviewed owns a practice called Mindful Counseling Solutions, and I met Robin. He is my daughter's string bass teacher, and he does that part-time, and then he also does the counseling in his private practice a little bit more than part-time. The working environment, because it's a private practice, he was able to choose his own office space, and he chose to have his office in a building that other therapists and counselors have office spaces as well. And he says that it's nice for him to be able to collaborate with colleagues and peers when he needs to and to share resources, but then he also gets the benefits of managing his own business. He gets to decide his own hours, and typically he works 9 to 3 Monday through Friday. He does do some evening to do group counseling, but that changes all the time. And another thing that he mentioned is that he feels like he's on call 24/7 to his clients, since he is the only person working in his practice. He said typical stressors are dealing with crisis situations and people with difficult personalities. Another huge stressor for Robin is working with people who sometimes want to harm themselves or they're suicidal, and that causes him a lot of stress thinking about that. And he said another stressor is sometimes you're working with people who have some pretty dark issues that they're dealing with, and sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. The most rewarding part about his job is watching the people that he works with make progress and the impact that counseling can have on people's lives, a positive impact. Typical benefits, because he is in a private practice, he has to seek out his own benefits, and right now he just gets benefits from his wife's employment. So that is how he works that out. Common job tasks are, well, number one, he meets with clients in 1 hour to 1.5 hour sessions, and then during the session he takes notes, and then after the session is over, then he reviews his notes and writes a more comprehensive report of the session, and also fills out a care plan or treatment plan, and if needed he researches resources that his client may need. Because it is his own business, he's also responsible for managing his own billing and payments, and he spends a lot of time marketing for new clients. He tries to have about 10 to 15 clients all the time, and so there is some marketing that he does. He also attends seminars and conferences on a regular basis to maintain his knowledge and just to be aware of what options are out there and resources are out there for him and his clients. He also follows all the procedures required as a licensed counselor. He says that there is a lot of paperwork that just gets filed away that takes time, but it has to be done, and it's just part of the job. Robin offers therapy and counseling for individuals, couples, and groups. He specializes in treating trauma, depression, anxiety, and relationship problems. And he was able, again, because it's a private practice, he was able to choose what areas he wanted to focus on. The education required in Colorado is a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and then after you complete a master's degree, you're also required to work 2,000 hours for 2 years, and 100 of those hours are clinical supervised hours. And Robin told me that that 100 hours, typically you have to pay someone to supervise you, and it is not cheap. It's about $120 per hour to have someone supervise you. He said that he was able to get an externship working in a community clinic, and was able to fulfill some of those hours that way, but not all 100. So he said to just take note of that. There are also 2 exams that you have to pass in order to become licensed. One is called the National Counselor Examination, and the other one is the Jurisprudence Examination. He said a typical starting salary is about $36,000, ranging to about $45,000. However, it really depends on how many clients you have at a time. And he also mentioned that typically if you have about 15 to 20 clients, you're working in sessions for 15 to 20 hours, but you're actually working more like 30 to 40 hours. So every hour that you're with a client, you're probably working about an hour or a little bit more outside of the time that you meet with a client to fill out necessary paperwork and everything else that I mentioned earlier. And that is it. Thank you.